soaring apartment towers bearing the Trump name, an iconic golf course, the Winter White House. Throughout South Florida, the threat from rising seas is growing, and for President Trump,
the United States will cease all implementation of the non-binding Paris Accord.
That decision to pull the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Agreement, it could someday hurt his business empire's bottom line.
The president's properties are, depending on the elevation and the proximity to the coastline, are at the same risk as other properties that are located in those places.
During storms, South Florida streets flood. They even flood when there's no rain, during king tides, unusually high tides. The president's properties here are in low-lying areas. Mar-a-Lago, his mansion and private club, sits on a barrier island. To the east is the Atlantic Ocean. To the west, the Intracoastal Waterway. If seas this century rise 2 to 3 feet as federal and regional scientists predict, seawater would flood Mar-a-Lago's western lawns. A 6-foot rise could put it underwater. Even Trump National, 13 miles inland, could see flooding. The reason? A rising water table. His oceanfront properties could be inaccessible.
I would tell him the same thing I tell people in South Florida. Everybody needs to figure out their personal adaptation journey and make personal decisions about their home and their business the same way we're making decisions about our city and our city streets.
Despite the scientific consensus the world is warming and seas are rising, the president several times has called global warming a hoax. The White House isn't saying if he believes that, but there is serious concern. In worst-case predictions, more than 900,000 homes in Florida could be underwater by 2100.
Backing away from the Paris Agreement essentially is sending a message to the global community that the U.S. is not taking climate change seriously. A lot of property is at risk from sea level rise, and that has economic consequences.
Losses could total in the tens of billions of dollars, devastating South Florida and the president's multi-million-dollar interests. Alex Sands, The Associated Press, Miami.